We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is, coming to us all the way from France, it is the Hellicious. And this is really this sort of cool embossed label here. I love this. I think that is so neat. It is the Sauce Classique Hot Habanero. And so pizza, does it say pitas? What does that say? This font, I can't quite make out. It looks like pizza something fajitas. I can't quite make out what that word is. This font kind of does my head in a little bit. So we can see there is where it is out of France. And the ingredients here, we've got the puree de, what do we call it, pimente? All right, so we got habaneros, and vinegar for the puree. And so habaneros are kind of interesting. I don't honestly come across them super often. In fact, I don't know if I've ever come across them prior to this, but habaneros are basically a habanero without the heat component. So you can taste the sort of fruity, citrusy notes of the pepper itself without any heat. Habaneros I don't consider particularly hot anyway, but it's fine. We've got a vinegar, carrot, sugar, salt, and what's this last one? I think the last one is garlic. So I'm not, my French isn't the greatest, so I think that's what that is. So the habanero puree, so habaneros and habaneros, because, the French have to fancy stuff up, right? I mean, for a long time, that country was considered the height of cuisine. And a lot of the cooking techniques and so on come from there. So it doesn't surprise me that they've got a sauce that they're really, really trying to bring that sort of aspect into. And of course, habanero and carrots so that was a trend. That was one of the many hot sauce trends quite a while back now. I want to say it's been at least, it was kind of a thing when I started to blog. So maybe 8 to 10 years ago. And you don't really see a lot of it now, but it was a good combination. I don't think it was super interesting to a lot of people. Kind of one of those things that flared briefly and then just kind of vanished. So we got this metal cap here. I mean, it's just a really different approach to this. 100 milliliters, I believe that is roughly 5 ounces. It might be closer to 4.5. Actually, let me grab one of my, let's take a look at the sauce first, I guess. Gorgeous. Let me put that down, and here, you guys stare at this while I go find out where 100 milliliters falls. All right, so I grabbed this as the Cerberus sauce, just the closest thing on the shelf. So 5 fluid ounces, we've got 148 milliliters. So, which is nice because it roughly translates into, I guess, around 30 milliliters is 1 fluid ounce. So this is 3 fluid ounces and change, I guess. But that it seems like there's more in there though. So this label might be off, but all right, let's take a look here. Another look. This sort of nice reddish orange, tending a little bit more towards orange, and its smell is so fragrant. It smells just delicious. And this is a very, very, very good sauce. I don't know if I would call it the best habanero carrot I've ever had. It is much different. You know, kind of like French wines will be different from American wines, and you can have quality certainly in pretty much any type of wine. And I think that's what it is. It's just a different take on it. Different but equal, I guess. So, but let's get into it. This is certainly, I would say, one of my top picks. So I think the Habaneros make a huge difference here. This is a lot more lively, a lot more vibrant. And there's a tad of the floral notes in there as well. And you really kind of get a different sense, I think, of the habaneros. And I think most of the time, the American sauces are using like the orange habaneros, and that's about it. And I assume that's because they're very prevalent, they're super available, but they're also inexpensive. And you can still make it certainly a good sauce with them, but I think that they are definitely a lot less. Look at how thick the glass is on the bottom of this. Like right here is that's wild. But I think they're less concerned about that than they are with making a high quality sauce. And it really showcases the flavors. It is, if you can come up with a bottle of this, definitely well worth it to try to pick it out. And if you happen to be where one of the locations are, you, I believe, can still get this and burn your tongue. That's where I got this. My man Roger Damps over there, scouring the globe to bring you the finest in hot sauce selections. And I certainly would not have ever had this particular sauce, or probably any sauce from France, were it not for Roger. So let's get into what we're going to go with today. And what that is pepperoni pizza. Definitely habanero and fruit. Habanero and carrot, I think, really does nicely with pizza as well, even though this is a bit floral, more floral than some of the other ones. And I think that might be where they work a bit better, just depending on how much what your tolerance is for stuff like that on pizza. This is the Stranger Things Surfer Boy pepperoni pizza. I think Palermo is the one doing this. And let's just dial it up a little bit. Fresh out of the old oven. I think all the Surfer Boys are still around. I don't know if they're anywhere else. This particular one I got at Walmart. It's the only place I've seen it. It's a little bit more than some of the other pizzas, but I think it's really quite a good pizza. I mean, for a frozen pizza, like, how great are those going to be ever? But I really enjoyed these. All right. It's a bit hot yet. Right out of the oven. This is not a particularly hot sauce. And we'll see if we can get some build out of it maybe, but I don't even know if I can call it a one. So I think for me, that little floral grace down in there, I think I would prefer if it was not there. I'm not a big fan of floral perfumey stuff. It's one of the main reasons I don't like scorpion and fatale peppers, especially. I like to get the middle section out of the pizza. I don't really like this crust. It's definitely, this pizza is more of a throwback to like 80s pizzas, actually, when you would see a very defined crust. No cheese, no things stuffed in it, just a crust, and almost nobody would eat it. That's one of the reasons I like thin crust so much better. You really don't have a crust to it. Not defined, sort of ridge like this. They just run everything right to the edge. You can get a sense of the carrots though. And they'd bring, I think, bring back some of the earthy balance that you'd want. Just for me, not quite enough, at least on this application. So I would say definitely pairing it with meats works a little bit better. It is a fascinating approach, though. I'm not unhappy with what they came up with here. The question becomes then, would I get it again? Sure. Where I was brought up, I didn't have exposure to a lot of, international cuisine. It was very, American Midwest stuff, and which in that area was a lot of, the European countries, like Germany and England and stuff like that, aren't really known, I guess, for super explosive flavors of stuff. And that was through an American lenses. Well, it wasn't through what it's like in Germany or England, probably. And so that's one of the things I've enjoyed the most about just the times that we're in now. Just you have access to so much cool stuff globally. And from a chili head perspective, I try to bring as much as I can get my hands on here to the channel, so people can check out and then just go get it for themselves if they're interested. As for this, so if you're a big fan of either habanero or habanero carrot, those types of sauces, I would say this is something you should definitely try to poke around for a little bit and try to get. I think this is a really cool bottle. I like this sort of embossed little carrot. This reminds me actually of this little guy here. Reminds me of so there is a game called Kena or Kena. I'm not sure the pronunciation, or Kena maybe, is Spirit of the something or other. And anyway, it's kind of like a Souls-like, if you're familiar with the terminology of that. But it's got these little figures in it that help the main character, or are useful to the main character, called the Rot. And that's what this looks like to me. It looks like one of the Rot. And I think that's really cool. But I also like the way that they did this label. I actually like. I really, it's kind of minimalist. It's got the French flag on it. It's got this sort of almost embossed metal looking thing. Very cool. The Sauce Classique. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it might take you a bit of doing to come across it, but You know, that's part of the fun with international sauces. They've got a lot of international crates and stuff as well. I don't know if hot sauces are in any of those, but those are kind of fun to do too, where you just kind of take a little tour around the world through food. Definitely, it's a, for me anyway, a pretty rewarding experience. So I've got a little bit of a mouth burn. Let's have a little bit more of this actually, and let's just see if we can drive it past a one. Because like I'm sitting below a one right now, and you can see I've whipped through a lot of this bottle already. In fact, I actually had to curb this so that I would have enough left for the video. You really get a sense of the components as vegetables. And I think that's why the habanero is in here. Is just that you really get the sense of that, and with the carrot. And the habanero to a degree as well, otherwise it would just have no heat at all. Heat here is very, very minimal though. I mean, I think I gave it a 1 in the written review. And sometimes when I do these, I wind up changing the written review just as I get more. I save some of my experimentation for the videos, of course, because content and all that. But this one, I think I gave it a 1 in the written review. You can check it out, by the way, if you follow the link in the description below. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just a 1, just barely a 1 as far as heat. And that's after, I mean, you can see we've tore through this, quite a bit of this in this video. So yeah, I like what they came up with here. Again, it's not, to me, very universal because of, you get some food cancellation effect with the different flavors, and then you wind up with a little bit more of that floral note than I actually like. But I mean, overall, this is a really, really cool take on a pretty well-established sauce type. And, hats off to them for that. And I'm super thrilled that Roger brought this particular sauce in. The man is tireless trying to find new stuff. So definitely check out Burn Your Tongue if you haven't already. I think he might be on Facebook. I don't believe the website is up now, but that could be coming back. Keep your eyes peeled, for sure, especially if you're on the Facebook. And yeah, we'll just leave it there. This was the Hellicious Classique hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.